Welcome back, everyone. Hundreds of cases across the country. A confirmed case right here in Lucas County. Nasty, kind of a mysterious stomach bug called Cyclospora. Here to tell us more about it, where it comes from, how to avoid getting it, is the Director of Community Environmental Health Services at the Toledo-Lucas County Health Department. Eric Skoczynski joins us on Conklin and Company this morning.
Thank you for having us. Really
long title, Eric.
I know it is. Long last name, long title.
But an important job.
Lately, yes.
Yeah, Cyclospora. So what is this thing?
It's a one-cell parasite, and what we found, we've had outbreaks like this before, and we found out that fruits and vegetables are usually the vehicle that it gets inside of us. So we're going to eat those contaminated fruits and vegetables. This time, it appears that it's a bagged lettuce product. I think we've all had that at some point in time. And whether it's the romaine lettuce or the iceberg lettuce or the carrots or the red cabbage, whatever in there, one of those products was probably contaminated. Now, about 80% of the cases that they're finding right now have eaten that product. The other 20, they're not too sure about. So where is it actually coming from? That's what we're trying to do right now.
Are you able to pinpoint the local case where that person may have contracted it?
What we have right now is the individual is had lettuce, so we know that, again, it's kind of that lettuce vehicle one more time. The issue with the bagged lettuce is that, the parasite, the way this is very hard to wash off. Okay, so because it gets in the folds of the lettuce and things of that nature, so you really got to use vigorous water.
Most people are probably not that vigorous,
no,
right?
No, really not. With myself and my fruits and vegetables at my house with my family, I'm scrubbing watermelons and cantaloupes and I'm really washing my lettuce off. But that bagged product, most people don't wash it off, and even the experts say that you probably shouldn't wash it off because you could further contaminate it.
Well, many of the bags say, "Hey, washed and ready to eat."
It is. It is. It really, truly is. It really, truly is. So the concern that we have right now is that people are kind of scared to be eating healthy again because of the lettuce. I've gotten that.
There's a touch of irony in this, in that the best things you can have are fruits and vegetables, but you can contract this parasite.
Possibly. Well, with that, right now, we haven't seen any other cases per se, so we're thinking that product is no longer in the United States. We keep on getting cases in the hospitals, but we're not seeing a huge spike, if you would, and that's what you would see if that product was still here. Now, it could be, but from the data that we're looking at, we don't have that upward trending right now.
Well, that's good news.
When
I mentioned 300 cases, is most of them confined to one part of the country right now? They're all over the place?
Well, there's 397 in 16 states, and most of them are in Iowa, in that area. So, here in Ohio, we're fortunate, we got the one case.
Yeah.
And
it happens to be right here.
It happens to be right here. But, I think when I talk to people about this is that, you should still eat healthy. I'm still going to have bagged lettuce. I'm going to feed my family
every day.
I have it every day. You really need to do that. But I think we got to remember that, it's a process. It's a very complex process, the way we get our food. And our food here in the United States is extremely safe. If you think of farm to table, things that can go wrong on the farm, through transportation, through processing, to get to your grocery store, you taking it home and then finally cooking it. I mean, just look at
pretty amazing.
It's amazing. And if you think about it, it's amazing that we don't have more people that get sick from things. But again, it's our food supply. We're very fortunate here in the United States to have a very safe product. We have, I think it's 3,000 deaths every year from foodborne outbreaks. But again, if you look at the big scheme of things, how many times we eat a day and how much food do we actually consume, it's not huge numbers, but still, they're deaths that we need to cut back. And that's what we do at the health department. We're trying to be out there every day to make sure that it's a safe food supply, that people aren't getting sick and possibly contracting something that could put them in hospital or even death. So
on shows like this and on the news, although this was different, we had you on earlier this week in some of our newscasts, but we see Dr. Grossman or Larry Vasco. But this is different. You work with the environment specifically when it comes to health. So tell us how that job translates into what you're doing right now, telling us about Cyclospora. I mean, what other tasks come with the environmental director at the health department?
I'm very lucky that I have a great job. I mean, we have 465,000 people that we're responsible for. I mean, that's a huge responsibility. Yeah. And if you look at our area, we have a whole host of different things. We have pools, that we have to take care of. So when you're looking at, safety around pools, waterborne illnesses, things of that nature, that's a huge responsibility. I'm also heavily involved in epidemiology, much like you were doing today, talking about cyclospora, and that is just a fantastic portion of the job. And that's really the basic building block of public health. It is epidemiology. That's how everything kind of goes to and from is that epidemiology, disease in man. What's causing those problems.
Pollution here.
Pollution. HAB, harmful algal blooms, the blue-green algae.
Yeah.
We're not talking about it so much this year because
haven't had the heat,
you haven't had the heat, haven't had the runoffs, and there's some things in there, but again, that's something else that we're concerned with. We're working with a bunch of different partners. We're very lucky to have great partners in Lucas County as well as Northwest Ohio that work on things together, such as the harmful algal bloom. The lead issue that we have in our housing stock.
Sure.
It's another immense issue.
To this day, even though most homes don't have lead-based paint, of course, most newer homes anyway.
Right. Prior to 78, you're going to probably have lead-based paint. After 78, you're probably not going to have, you're not going to have lead-based paint because that's when it was outlawed. But again, we're finding, University of Toledo, great institution. There's some fantastic research coming out from University of Toledo about kids and lead poisoning, and is it causing behavioral problems because of ingestion of lead? Fascinating research. But again, it goes back to that's extremely important. Let's get the lead out of those houses. So that's a very important task that we're doing.
I didn't mean to go off the rails there. I went to a different place. If I can circle back.
Sure.
To cyclospora in preventing it. Is it as simple as washing that produce and washing your hands? And I mean, hand washing is probably the most common thing we hear. Just wash your hands.
Right.
Every time you go to the restroom.
When I give presentations, or any of us give a presentation, we usually say what you learn in kindergarten is really what you need to really do in life. Be nice to people and wash your hands. Wash your hands in public health is so
That's
important.
Great advice.
It's so important. But no, with your fruits and veggies, you still need to eat them, you still need to consume them, but the issue really is make sure you're washing them off. Scrub them when you can. We need to take precautions in the kitchen. A lot of individuals, think that they get sick when they eat out, but a lot of us, we have small kitchens. We're not commercial kitchens. So, there's a great deal of cross-contamination that can happen in our kitchen. So we need to make sure that, we're washing off our cutting boards. But between uses, whether you're cutting, your meats and then you're trying to do your veggies, don't do that. Do your veggies first. Wash your board off and then cut your meat. So there's a lot of things we can do at home to make sure that we don't get sick. But again, washing hands, wash your veggies, and taking precautions relative to making sure that you have clean surfaces when you prep food.
All right, we didn't go over all the symptoms, but I think when I say stomach bug, you can
diarrhea, vomiting, all that stuff.
Above.
Yes.
Happy Sunday morning. Wash your hands, be nice to people.
Yes.
Eric Skoczynski, thanks very much from the
Thank
Toledo Lucas County Health Department. Take 3, Ignacio Messina, the Blade, will join us when we come back in just a minute.